Outsourcing. Why do something yourself when you can just pay somebody else to do it for you? It's the entrepreneurial way, right? Right? Our company Type Studio utilizes APIs as well as a little bit of outsourcing to help create our product. Well, that is if hiring friends from university as freelancers counts as developmental outsourcing. We, and by we, I mean our development team, have found a lot of positive aspects come from using outsourcing as well as APIs, and in our case, more importantly, the APIs. For example, our transcription and translation feature within our video editor, completed with APIs. And as a company, you have to make a lot of these decisions that many in the development space like to call make or buy decisions. Yes, I had to read that. And it's exactly what you think it is. Do you take the time to build a product on your own, or do you find somebody that already has created it and then you just rip it for yourself? Because as you know, development is all about sharing. Isn't that right, Mark?
A new company brand to encompass everything that we do.
And as a quote from our lead developer, APIs are cool. They make our lives so much easier. And that may or may not be a real quote. So, thanks, Yanni. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wondering what API even stands for. And what I'd say to that is hold your horses because I'm getting to it like right now. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Another little buddy of the API that you might want to know too is the term SDK, or Software Development Kit. SDKs are pieces of code that help you interact with APIs a little bit better. It's kind of like a driver for hardware for you computer nerds. And in even heavier layman's terms, it's like a menu at a restaurant with a waiter, because it kind of helps you utilize a waiter in the best of his or her ability. You thought that you can go through a video about APIs without a restaurant analogy. Ha. Ha. I'm sorry. There are a few different use cases for APIs. As some of the more popular articles online pointed out to my non-programmer brain, and don't worry, all of this is looked over by our development team, so just know that what I'm saying is accurate. And the fact that you're seeing this video means that they looked over it and everything is okay. So anyways, Alex, continue. Thank you, Alex. After sending out an API call is the process of a client application submitting a request to a server's API. An API call also comprises everything that happens after the request is submitted, including when the API retrieves information from the server and delivers it back to the client. Thank you, HubSpot. Link to the full article is down in the description for all you nerds. But either way, once an API is called on from afar, it will either respond with the requested information, such as analytical data or a hotel's holiday weekend rates in Austin, Texas, or it'll just go. This extensive list of possibilities for API usage lets you know that somebody else already beat you to the punch. But that's okay. Just use their hard work and create your own smoother rendition of their information. Websites. The examples I used earlier can even show how diverse some of the API interactions can be. It could be for a development team to analyze their website's traffic, as well as any back-end data to help improve their SaaS product, or just for you to figure out if Austin, Texas is viable during Christmas. And from the looks of it, it is not. But you wouldn't know that, or I wouldn't know that, if it wasn't for an API. All right, so now you know a little bit about APIs and how they work. So now the only question to ask is, should you use them? And from my research, my extensive month-long research is, yeah, it'd be a good idea to look at them, especially if you haven't considered them before. Seasoned developers may not need any help in this API market, but for those of you starting out, it's definitely something to look into. APIs can be a game changer. Go ahead and see if you can find what you're already trying to make so you can save some time and get that product out a little bit faster. So all in all, APIs are basically like the online software version of outsourcing for physical talent. Or at least I'm just telling myself that for the sake of this video to create a transition to the next part of the video. I made this video. I can do what I want. The idea of outsourcing itself has been a topic for debate, especially during these unprecedented times. jobs. So what are the advantages of outsourcing? The average hourly rates of freelancers is lower than hired on employees that you have to still pay for recruitment and onboarding costs. You have access to higher quality programming and tools that you may not have had otherwise. These agencies and freelancers are essentially competing for your business, so they have to put themselves on a higher state as well in order to get hired on. So providing these higher level tools and whatnot are a way for them to look good. Faster turnaround times are also a thing. In 2020, 48% of the companies surveyed in a specific survey that is linked in the description below said that accelerating development was the main advantage of outsourcing software development. Now, that's all nice and dandy, but what are all the disadvantages of outsourcing? Well, you can't give your fellow developer a crisp high five after a hard day's work. You'll have to just stick to sending them a Slack message with a bunch of emojis. But for real, outsourcing has some real advantages, and taking advantage of those advantages will give you an advantage and could help your up-and-coming business with what it needs. This also opens up the conversation about freelancers in general, because it's not all about just outsourcing for software development. Somebody in this room is actually a freelancer. Well, that was fun. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit about APIs and outsourcing, not only for software needs, but also for overall business performance needs. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smack that like button, and subscribe for more content like this. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Peace.